Hello, my name is Moving Cat. Good morning and welcome to the Polynesia Settlement, which has just been released on beta. Well, I say just, it was released yesterday, but the announcement came so late I didn't really see it until right before going to bed. So instead I decided to wait until now, the next morning, the next day, to start the settlement. So in this video and for the next couple of days, I will be doing a live playthrough as I've done in the previous years, where I record myself playing through the settlement with live commentary. Then I cut that together for each day and release one video each day. Now there will be some differences this time from previous years, but if you want to hear more about that, stay around until the end of the video. I will not bore you with the details right now. So, without further ado, let's get started by first looking at the rewards, and then I will play the settlement itself, or start the settlement. So, first of all, we do have emissaries. We have a main building and secondary building. So, for the emissaries, the first one here provides 16 forge points per day. Not bad at all. Then, probably most people's favorite, 13 units of your age, which is definitely nice to see. Another one that provides units. We also have this that provides 100 goods of the previous age, and finally 70 goods of your age. So all around, not too bad from these emissaries. The first two are definitely my favorites, so I'll probably get those. Then we have the main building, the Hut of the Sacred Instruments. You need to play 13 playthroughs to get the final level, which is level 9. And at level 9, it provides a lot of attack boosts. So the building itself is 4x3. It provides, regardless of age, like the other buildings, 77% attack and defense for your attacking army. Additionally, you get 38% attack and defense for your attacking army in Guild Expedition and Guild Battlegrounds, as well as 30% attack and defense boosts for your attacking army in Quantum Incursions. So all around a lot of attack boosts. I definitely like to see that. You also get some coins, 70 forge points, 525 previous age goods. In the future, 50,000 medals, which is actually quite a lot. It's up to 145,000 in the last age. Which, I don't really care, but if you don't have all the expansions, that can definitely help. And it provides 70 random units of your age each day. So, all around, definitely a very nice building that you want in your city. Now, interestingly, it doesn't look like it requires a road. And there is a reason for that we'll go into in a moment. Before though, let's look at the other time reward. The Great Dawn's Stage. This one has 5 levels, and at max level you get 5% attack and defense for your attacking army, 4 forge points, 5 goods, and a bit of coins. Again, no road required. And the reason for that, if we jump into the settlement itself, is that we do not have any roads. So unlike previous settlements, this one requires no roads at all, which is definitely very interesting. Now we also have this very awkward shape, although that said, with the fact that you start over here, I do feel like not a lot of people will build into this corner. They'll just stay in this main area here, but we'll see. Perhaps we have to open all the expansions, who knows. Now from the rewards here, we can see that this has been massively increased compared to previous settlements. From these milestones here, we get a lot of goods and a lot of forge points. And here for the first quest here, 15 forge points, quite a lot, which you get by building 2 small huts. So why not just get started? Let's build 2 of those. We'll do a few tasks and that I will build up the starting city. I do have a plan. Here 3 masked totems, which is the first culture building. let's build 3 of those as well. There we go. A self-aid kit. Then we have the first goods building, which provides or produces fresh fish. And we'll see in an hour that it has some awkward stuff, new stuff when it comes to the production times. So these have 30 diplomacy. Let's quickly do that. We need a couple more of these. That should be enough for 30. And here, finish all supply productions, which is quite interesting. You can get this immediately. So I suppose if you don't really care about the settlement, you can produce one of these every day. You can abandon the settlement right now and then start it the next day to get one more finish all supply production. So something to keep in mind, especially after you've done all the regular runs, if you want to. Now the next one here have 2 dance stages, which is, I believe, the first technology here, which we can't unlock quite yet, or we could with some diamonds, but I'm not going to be spending diamonds. So let's delete these. Let's remove the confirmation. There we go. And let's build up the settlement. So what I'm going to do, I am a bit, of course, limited as usual for the resources. So you use shells here to produce goods in the goods buildings. So what I'm going to do is that I'll be building 2 goods buildings plus as many houses as I can. This will, as you can see here, 5 hours production. And that might hint at the timing updates that I kind of teased here. I guess I'll just say it. For goods buildings, the timers now have been kind of changed to the same that we see in the quantum incursions. So instead of the old 4, 8, and 24, I think that was all the options. It is now 5, 10, and 20, I believe it is. So it's based on 5 hours and 10 hours instead of 4 and so on, which I'm fine with it. It does mean that, well, I guess what it means for me is that a 24-hour period, instead of that being 24 hours, it's 20 hours with a bit of leeway in case I miss a collection every day. If you want to produce as quickly as possible, you can always stay on time for the collections. But for me personally, those 4 extra hours, I suppose, just adds a bit of leeway in case I'm late here and there. It doesn't really hurt me. So that we'll see more about that in an hour when these are done producing or done constructing. And when they're done constructing, we'll put them on. I'll put them on 5 hours. That'll allow me to collect these and these in around 5 hours. I'll be at work around then, but I'll probably do it on my phone and then just do a bit of voiceover after the fact. For expansions, we see the first one costs 5. I don't know how much the next ones will cost, so I suppose we will see. In terms of where to expand, I haven't really thought about it. But looking at I'm probably going to go get these 4. Then I can remove these 3. It'll give me quite an open area here. These are quite nice, these impediments. I'll probably get more than 4 expansions, that's for sure. So I don't know, possibly. All the other impediments are a bit awkward, so I don't know, perhaps up here I can remove these 2 if I have enough impediment removals. Don't know how many I will have, but I will probably have a decent amount. I think in the other ones we have like I think we have 5, 6 or something like that. It's been a long time, but I guess we will see. Now I do have some initial thoughts, but I will leave those for the end of the day until we've done a little bit more. So for now, I'll leave it here and I'll catch you a little bit later in the day. Alright, here we go. Let's start these productions and let's do a 5-hour one in each to get us started as quickly as possible. Alright, it's a couple of hours later. I'm ready to collect. We now have a total of 5 fish. Before I spend them, let's put these back on. Let's do 5 hours on each. We can now unlock the first technology. To do so, I will first get one expansion with half of the fish. I decided to go for this one. I do have one impediment removal, so I was able to remove that. Next, I will get the one above it, I think, and there I don't really need the impediment removal quite yet, at least. So anyways, I get some decoration buildings to unlock the first technology here. I'm able to unlock it, and then I just do a bit of reconstructing. First delete all of these, then a bit of reconstructing in my city. My goal is to build, well, as many of these new dawn stages as possible. I do have population for 3 of them, but as I figure out as I'm rebuilding, I'm only really able to build 2 of them. So I moved these buildings a little bit out of the way so I can build these 2 dawn stages right here. And then I do have one more 2x2 spot remaining. First I have to collect the task, get some goods. I do have one more 2x2 space remaining and 2 free tiles somewhere else in the city. So I did try for a bit to figure out if I can get one more dawn stage, this new building. But in the end, I couldn't really find a way to do it. I don't think it's possible. So I ended up getting one more small hut instead, just to boost the shells production a little bit. So yeah, now we have 1 hour left for the dawn stages to finish, and then we can start producing some shells in that as well. And here we are, it's an hour later, the dawn stages are done, and we can now see another change. It still keeps the 5, 15 and 1 hour productions that we are familiar with, but the 4, 8 and 24, they've been changed to 5, 10 and 20 hours. So same theme as the goods buildings and quantum incursions where we first saw this. Everything is based on a 5 hour timer. So yeah, that is interesting. Now it's still the middle of the day as I'm recording this, but in order to release this video on time for the first day, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take a break here and stop playing here. And then the rest of day 1 I will conclude in my day 2 video. So let's talk a little bit about what I plan to do for the upcoming couple of days or a week or 2. As I play through this, the timer is 15 or 16 days for gold, so who knows? I don't know how long it will take, if it's a lot quicker or not. But my plan is to do what I've done for previous settlements, to make a daily video going through what I do during that day. So this is kind of day 1 or first impressions video, and I will talk a little bit about my first impressions in a moment. And then tomorrow I will do end of day 1 and a full day 2. And then after that I will do day 3, day 4, day 5 and so on as full days. And in terms of my upload schedule, if you're watching this as I am releasing them live, this video or the next video will go up not tomorrow but the day after. And then each day my playthrough will be 1 day delayed. So day 3 will be released as I am working on day 4 and so on. At least in the beginning. A bit poor timing, but this weekend I am traveling back to my parents for Easter. I will be away for a week. I will still record everything. I will probably record most of it on my phone and then release record voiceover and release the videos later on. I haven't fully decided yet what I want to do, but there might be a bit of a delay between the first couple of days and the final days of this playthrough. But of course, if you're watching this after the fact, it doesn't matter. If you're watching this as the event goes, or as the settlement goes out on live, I will already have played through the settlement. Let's actually quickly put these on 1 hour. So yeah, now with that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about my first impressions. First of all, I really like the art style. It's probably my favorite looking settlement. It looks really nice, really relaxed with some lovely scenery, nice animations and all of that. So definitely lovely. I also quite like the idea of this kind of awkward shape here. Not sure how much this part will be used. Most people will probably stay on this area here, but it's at least interesting. Now for the mechanics, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I quite like the shifts. I'm going over to 5, 10 and 20 hour timers. As I said earlier in the video, the way I look at it is that it is a kind of a discount of the 24 hours. So instead of everything being on a 24-hour cycle, and if you miss anything, then you really miss it and you have to delay things. When it is 20 hours, it allows you to miss out an hour here or there and still be on time. So instead of doing, the way I think it's quite nice. Of course, if you are able to collect on time every time, then the 8-hour schedule is probably easier. For 8-hour schedule, so collecting 3 times per day. If you're able to, that's probably simpler. But I think for the more casual players, I think it's nice to have the 5, 10, 20 hour thing instead. I don't know. Let me know what you think. If this was me a couple of years ago, I think I would have preferred the old method, because then I was able to collect more often. Nowadays I'm not on that frequently to collect, so I quite like it. Now I also really like that we don't need any roads. It's a really nice quality of life improvement, I think. Makes it a lot less painful to plan everything. You don't really have to think as much about where you get your expansions, because 4 tiles here is worth as much as 4 tiles here. Assuming you don't have any too big buildings, then of course there are some bigger buildings later on. 4x4. Okay, there's not really a lot of big buildings. 3x5, I suppose, is the only one that goes outside of one expansion. So I guess it's only really this that goes outside of one expansion. But of course, if you have 3x3 buildings, for example, and 2 of them, they will span across. Anyways, I guess what I'm saying is it makes planning a lot easier. It makes unlocking expansions not that doesn't matter too much how, and keeping everything combined together doesn't matter as much, because you don't need roads to connect everything. So that I like, but outside of that, what really is there to say about the settlement? It's basically a stripped down version of Vikings. We have everything we had in Vikings, but we don't have the roads, etc., which of course is a nice thing, but still, in terms of mechanics, outside of these timing changes, it's exactly the same as the Vikings, the very first settlement, which I find a little bit disappointing, considering we have had, how long, like 2 years since the last settlement. Don't quote me on that, but it's been a long time since the last settlement. So on the return, I was hoping for a little bit more than just very basic, very vanilla settlement. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed there. In terms of the reward, it's definitely a good one, as all of the other ones are now with the latest update, which by the way will come out at the same time as this settlement. So in a previous video I did mention that all the settlement buildings will receive a buff. That will happen now when this goes out. In fact, it's probably already out on beta, but when this comes out on live, those buffs should be out as well, which is nice. But yeah, so yeah, bit of a mixed bag. Ooh, this is cool with the in the foreground here, the parallax effect. Anyways, yeah, so a bit boring, a bit meh, but hopefully they do make some changes, I suppose. Not sure how much there is to do. But yeah, if you like a more relaxed settlement, I think this will definitely be for you. It's probably, I haven't played through it, but it's probably the most relaxed settlement. But it does have most of the kind of the downsides of regular settlements that we've seen before. For example, deleting and rebuilding everything when you need to unlock new buildings and so on. But yeah, it is what it is. We will see. I will continue to play. but you will see that in tomorrow's video. So I will end it here, but before I do, let me thank my Patreons for their support. I would like to thank Homestar, Kim Kelly, Brought the 8, Dan Tumnat, Doc Mylia, 0K, THX, Basilitz, Hugo Kant von Count, Jude the Generous, Susan Weiss, Rocco, Spike from No Remorse, Atomic, Flowers the Avenger, Arkler, Whiskeymaster, Mar and Sir, Huss, Tussiot, Henrik Darek Klaver, Adorel, Mike, Obshed the Obsessed, Ruth, Karen, Dennis, Flavis Belisarius, Butcher, Misak77, Mike So, Michael, Early Morning, Kamara the Hawk, and Davis O'Malley. Thanks a lot for your support, thanks for watching, take care, and I will see you in the future. Bye bye.